Hello. Let me give this thing a minute again because this computer is weird sometimes. So I want to be sure it catches everything I'm saying today. This angle is crazy. All right. Well, hello. This is Cheryl Abram, and this is my Ypifany channel. Welcome, my evolving minds. Now, listen, Ypifany, the logo is Learning for Evolving Minds. All right. So, only if you are an evolving mind will anything I say resonate with you. If you're used to thinking the way you normally think, you don't want to think any other way, you don't want to change your mind about learning or evaluation, this is not the place for you. And that's okay. Okay. There are hundreds, thousands of other channels where you can go. But if you are ready, if you're prepared to be an evolving mind, please stay. All right. Now, let me tell you what's something that just recently happened. Okay. I have a schedule for these things that I'm supposed to stick to. Okay. But I'm deviating from the schedule today. Sorry, Courtney. My niece is helping me with all that stuff. But so let me tell y'all what just happened. Okay. So y'all know that I have quit my job. All right. I'm on leave right now. Last day is November 8th. Stuff is up in the air. I still don't have a job. So, still working on stuff. So as a part of that, I've been reaching out to my network. Okay. Some people that I know. And I've been sending them my resume for some of their opinions. What are ways that you see that I can improve what I have here? Okay. So two people that I'm going to highlight have responded. One person said, okay, this is like every other resume I've ever seen. Like, can you do this and change that about it? Talk more about the results, stuff like that. Okay, fine. Another person, same resume, same one. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. I have never seen a resume like this. It's so interesting. I mean, just wonderful. It's already good. There's nothing you need to do. Same resume. They're reading the same words, same format, everything. Okay. My public speaking coach, his name was Robert Rabin. He told me when I wrote my book, my first book, he said, Cheryl, nobody is ever going to read the book you wrote. Okay. This is my public speaking coach. He said, nobody's ever going to read the book you wrote. Okay. And that's the same thing that happened with the resume. Nobody's ever going to read the resume that I created. Okay. Why? Because everybody has their own filter. My words, the metaphors I use, all that stuff is being filtered through something it's being filtered through these people's experiences, is being filtered through what their needs are, what their wants are, what their impressions of women are, what their impressions of me are, all kind of stuff is already there. So nobody is going to is going to read the same thing. This is the same thing that happens with learning. Think about the training that you've created or the training that you've been in. Everybody on here has been through some kind of training, okay? Or development or coaching or mentoring or something, okay? You've been through something. Nobody takes it the same way, okay? Because you have your own personal filter. So it's just like when, what's that dude's name, y'all? Oh my goodness. I talked about it on one of these other videos, how he talks about the 9 lies at work. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Him. He talks about feedback. All right. And when I say feedback, think about evaluation too, because that's really that's part of it. That's part of it. Okay. When you ask somebody for feedback, the same way I was doing with my resume. Okay. What he says is that feedback is not about you. If you're a supervisor and you're giving your employees feedback, let me come sit here. Let me give you some feedback on your performance. All right. The feedback ain't about me. It's about you. And the filter you're using and your opinions and what you're looking for. That's not about me. Okay. So when you're in front of people, okay, or when you're trying to design something, okay, how do you then ensure or help ensure that they actually get what you want them to get out of it? Okay. Because we write objectives, right? We write objectives all day from A to Z objectives. Okay. But that means nothing if I'm not there to get whatever that is that you wrote in your objectives. I could be there for a totally different reason. Okay. Now you want to get those things done because the way we do training now, it's about, vanity metrics. We want to show people how beautiful we are, how wonderful our training is. And that's normally what the objectives are about. Okay. Let me tell you what I did in this person's life, because they came to this training. They know more of this. They can do more of that. They, all this other kind of stuff, which is crazy. But what you can do. Okay. Now let me give you an example. Me and my partner, we just did an entrepreneurial course for a nonprofit in Minnesota. Okay. So it's about becoming an entrepreneur. Okay, you might say, all right, there's a lot of entrepreneurial, and I've taken some of those courses, like Taylor Pearson has a really good one. There's a lot of free stuff online that you can go and look at, a lot of cheap stuff, about becoming an entrepreneur. But it's like spray and pray. Okay, you just put it out there and whatever sticks, sticks. Okay, this wasn't that kind of thing. We had to find out, okay, who is this audience? What do they care about? What kind of goals do they have? Right. And we found that most of the goals were, so becoming an entrepreneur, there are a lot of things. It's not just about making money. All right. It's not just about making money. It's about having control. It's about creating opportunities for yourself and having access. Okay. Having access to places that you normally don't have access to. And one of the really interesting things about the audience that we discussed with the people is that with the people at the nonprofit is that in this community, there were children, who there were children or teenagers who were interested in starting a business but one of the things was the people they were living with were not trustworthy. Because normally when a child starts a business, you have to have adults, in there to, put them on the bank account and all this other kind of stuff. So because they had that situation, I'm a teenager, I have an idea. I want to implement this idea, but I don't trust my mom, with opening my bank account, or I don't trust my dad or some adult. Listen, that stuff happens. Okay. It happens. All right. So we had to do the research to say, all right, for these individuals who want to become entrepreneurs, what kinds of things do they need to consider? Now that in the entrepreneurial courses I took, it did not address that at all. It didn't address it at all. Nothing. Okay. So we had to really do our research and our due diligence and ask really good questions, not just about the content, but about the context in which these people were living. Okay. What kind of context are they living in? Because that's going to make a difference as far as how you start your business and what you do and what kind of tools you're going to use to do that. That makes a huge difference. Okay. I'm from Louisiana. Y'all know that. Okay. I love sweet things. Okay. And my definition is sweet. It's not necessarily others' definitions of sweet. Okay. You need to get out of here because I'm doing my thing and you're bothering me. Hurry up and close that door. Thank you. Excuse me, y'all. So so let's say tea, for instance. I make my own sweet tea. My boyfriend has a name for it because it's so sweet, right? But if you eat something really sweet, like let's say you eat a chocolate cake, a piece of chocolate cake, okay, and then you drink sweet tea, it won't taste as sweet, right? Because your mouth is already from the cake. It'll make something that's also sweet taste a little not as sweet as it actually is. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So that's like context, right? Sweet won't be sweet for everybody. Okay. It depends on what you ate before, what you're used to, what you like and don't like. Like it depends on a lot of things. Everybody has taste buds in their mouth that detects sweetness. Okay. But that's not enough. It depends on the context as to how sweet something's going to be to you, right? This entrepreneurial course, it's not going to be useful if the context is not right. Okay. These people have certain filters on. Okay. They have certain things they deal with on a daily basis that as good as Tyler, I mean, is his name Tyler or Taylor? His name is Taylor. As good as his entrepreneurial course is, Taylor Pearson. Go look him up. He's really good. He wrote the book, The End of Jobs. Really great. That stuff ain't going to work for these people. Okay. Because they got different filters. They believe different things. Okay. They have experienced different things. Okay. So we actually reached out to some of those people, when we were creating all this stuff. All right. So that really does make a difference. And again, the feedback. Okay. When you ask people, when I asked about feedback for my resume, what I got was a snapshot of how those people see things. Okay. So what does that mean? So what are the implications of that? If what I'm saying, if what this other guy says, I forget his name, is that feedback is about me, not about you, then how do I find out how well I'm doing? Like, how do I get others' opinions or something, if it's about them, and not really about me. Okay. What do I have to look for? Okay. Well, you can do several things. One thing you can do, and that I've done in a program, is something called goal-free. Okay. Goal-free evaluation of your program, of what you're doing. This is saying, okay, I don't know what the goal is for this thing, this entrepreneurial course, whatever. I'm not sure what the goals are, but let me go see what's happening. Let me see what's happening in the class. Let me see how people are responding. That's all. And not just with words, not just with me going directly to them saying, are you satisfied? Do you like this thing? Is it fun? No. No, we're not going to do that. Okay. Let me look and see what you're doing. That'll give me more accurate information, okay, about how this program actually is. Okay. Because what you're doing, and I talked about this in another video. Y'all need to go back and look and see what I said if you haven't seen it. What you're doing leads directly to what you believe about that thing. Okay. It leads directly to what you know about that thing. All right. If I implement in my design, in my course, where I can see the evidence of how you think, let's have a debate, for instance. Okay. That's something that I've put in the design of one of my courses, is that they were going to have a debate. Okay. You take this topic, you take that topic. Okay. We've done this before. And I think what was the statement was that all leaders or what was the statement? You are not a good leader unless you have charisma. It was something like that, right? I said, take this statement. You're not a good leader unless you have charisma, or all good leaders have charisma. It was something like that. And I said, everybody who agrees with that statement over here, everybody who doesn't over here. And they had to take turns supporting what they believe, that all leaders have charisma or Or no, that's not true. You don't have to have charisma to be a good leader. Okay. Listening to that, okay, hearing the evidence of how they think, hearing the evidence of, that let me see, okay, what I'm talking, this was a leadership talk, okay, what I'm talking about today either is or is not resonating with some people, or it's actually helping them to, they've changed their minds. And some of them actually did say that, like, this is how I used to think, but now I've changed my mind and this is why. Okay. I'm not asking you directly, are you going to change your behavior after this? Or it's that, like, that's not what I'm doing. Okay. Cause that's not my business. That's your business. Whether you change your behavior or whatever. I don't care. Okay. But what I am there to do is help you to see, and that's the whole thing, right? To help see that you didn't see before. Now, whether you use that to change your behavior, again, that's on you. That's your business. That's the business of your organization. That's the business of your husband, your children, whatever you're there for. That's your business. Okay. My business is to share perspective and experience. Thank you. Okay. Again, that's the definition of learning and teaching. It's to share. All right. So that you can see more clearly. Now, what you do with that, whether or not you use what you see now to change your belief and your behavior, is up to you. That ain't my business. Okay. My business is what I see, and whether or not I use that to influence my belief and my behavior. You see how that works? Okay. So feedback first of all, I can't give you feedback. All right. I just can't. I don't know enough about you as a person. Okay. Now, if you have to do like a simple task, okay, I can tell you whether or not you did it, but anything besides that, anything other than what's just obvious. Okay. Now, when I start storifying, and putting my impressions and opinions and all that stuff, now I'm talking more about myself and the things that I value. Okay. And the things that I want to see. Okay. Because when you get feedback, you don't give the whole story. You don't know the whole story. How can you give the whole story? Okay. You're only talking about what you care about. So some kind of way, now this is not about employee supervisor feedback. Okay. This is about learning, but it's the same thing, right? You can apply the same rules to learning when you're creating a learning experience and you're looking to find out, okay, what kind of difference, if any, is this making? I've done all this work to put this training together, to put this program together. What kind of difference is it making? Okay. And you don't have to wait 6, 8, 10 months after. Okay. You can, because the first problem you have when you go 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, I know that's how we say for the long-term goals, but the first and the major problem you're dealing with there is other variables coming in. The closer away you get from the thing, the less, what do you call it? That's the further the further away you get from being able to say what I did influenced that, because all these other variables just come in, and now you have no idea, what you did, if anything, if anything you said or did in the class had any kind of thing. So goal free is what I found one of the best ways, or one of the best leading indicators to let you know, okay, what is being practiced here, what is being shared here is actually getting the immediate response. It's having that immediate effect, that we predicted it would have. Okay. And if it has this immediate effect, okay, then we predict that it'll have the next one. Okay. So it's just like the way a logic model is set up. If this happens, then that will happen. If this happens, then that will happen. Okay. Now we know that life is not like that. We know that it's not linear. We know that people are not logical. Okay. We know that. However, we do what we can to make what we're doing a little more predictable, so that we say the next time we run this program, if we do it, if the context is the same, if we do it with the same kind of group, these are the kinds of results we can expect. Okay. Now, ain't nobody around here got crystal balls. Okay. Ain't nobody around here doing that. We don't have no psychics putting stuff together because they know exactly what's going to happen. Okay. You don't know. You have no idea exactly what's going to happen. Okay. The best you can do is, while the person is there with you, okay, is to get from them, okay, what kind of immediate, effect is happening? What are you thinking right now? And again, this gets back to total behavior. I'm not just looking for what you're doing as far as behavior change, okay? Because we know that behavior has 4 components. We talked about this already, remember? Okay, behavior is acting, thinking, feeling, and physiology. Behavior is all 4 of those things, okay? So you check all of those things, as you're going through. How are you feeling right now? Are you feeling frustrated? Okay, with this thing? Are you confused? Are you excited? Do you feel a little fear about what is going on with you right now? Okay. And have we designed this thing so that we design frustration into it? You're supposed to feel frustrated at this point. Okay. Because that's how we've designed it. Okay. Are we meeting that goal? Are people feeling that way when they do this? Okay. Or maybe they're not supposed to feel frustrated and they are. Okay. So what's going on with that? So that really takes us being able to engage with learners at that time. Hi, Mohammed. Hello from Algeria. Oh, cool. Hi. That takes us really being able to engage with learners in the moment, right here in that moment. And listen, I told you that sharing a perspective and experience, that's the way I define learning. It's the way I define teaching. And it's also empathy. Okay. Empathy has to happen in the moment. All right. And empathy is not, I'm happy to see you're streaming. Thanks, Mohammed. Empathy is not, oh, that's so horrible. I feel so bad for you. That's sympathy. I ain't talking about that. Empathy ain't got nothing to do with feeling sad for somebody. Okay. It really doesn't. So in the job that I'm leaving right now, some stuff I just don't like to do. I don't. And I'm very open. I ain't doing that. Okay. I'm not doing that because I don't like to do it. And I know where my strengths are and I know what I'm willing to do. And some stuff I just don't want to do. So I had to, manage this, this survey tool. Okay. I don't do that stuff. I don't like that. All right. However, I was helping out this a colleague, a very nice lady. Oh my God, this lady was so kind and nice. I couldn't say no because she was just so sweet. She really is. I mean, it was just anything I could do to help her. That was because she was asking me to do it. I was like, okay. Anybody else, I'd have been like, you got to find somebody else for this. I ain't doing this. Okay. But I did because of her, because she's just so nice and kind. Listen, I hated it the whole time. I told my executive, I told her that. I was like, listen, I said, I'm using the word hate here. I hate doing this. I said, but I am experiencing what others who do this have to go through, because this was part of the process that I was going to have to change in my job. Okay. I had already heard from the administrators, this system is hard to use. It doesn't do this. So I'd already heard that. Okay. Now, because I was actually doing it myself, okay, I was experiencing what I had heard from them already. Now, I know that some of what they told me was probably influencing the way I felt about it. Hi, Tammy. Greetings from Ohio. Hi, Ohio. That was probably influencing some of the stuff that I was doing anyway. Okay. But I was able to develop empathy for that. Okay. Now, empathy, it's sharing of perspective and experience, right? Empathy doesn't mean I'm going to do anything. Okay. Just because I am having some kind of experience where I can empathize with you, I can show empathy, for what you're going through. That don't mean I'm gonna do nothing. That's just like what I said. That just helps me see more clearly. Before, all I did was hear about this stuff. Now I've experienced it. Okay. Now I can see more clearly. Now, is what I see now going to influence what I do? Is what I see going to influence what I believe about this thing? Maybe, maybe not. Okay. Just because you have empathy don't mean you're going to do nothing. However, when you develop empathy for someone, some group, some process, something, it allows, empathy is for you. Don't you want to see more clearly? Why you want to go around, walking around just cloudy? You just not understanding nothing. Empathy helps you develop understanding. Okay. Understanding helps you see better. All right. And when you see better, you can do different things. Right. Oh, hi. Thank you, Tammy. You're a great storyteller. Thank you, Tammy. So you're in a dark room. Okay. Let's say you're in a dark room. All you have is a flashlight. The only thing you can see, things you can see, is the stuff you shine your flashlight on. Everything else is dark. You don't know what's behind you. You don't know what's to the right, to the left. All you can see is whatever you shine your flashlight on. Okay. Empathy is like going to the wall and turning on the switch. Now you can see everything in the room. You can see everything in the room. That doesn't mean you're going to do anything differently. Okay. That doesn't obligate you to do anything differently. But if you are in a room that was pitch black and all you had was a flashlight to navigate, all right, you were moving a certain way. You were feeling a certain way. You probably had a little fear in you or something. Okay. You were thinking a certain way. Now, when the lights come on and you see everything, don't you think that's going to change? You're not going to feel the same way you felt when you only had that little flashlight in that pitch black room. Okay. All of this stuff changes because you see better, because you've developed empathy. All right. You could still move around like you scared. You could still do that. Okay. With the light switch on, you can still do that, but you don't have to. That's the point. The point is you don't have to. That is the real message that we try. I don't care what your objectives are. I don't care what you're teaching. It don't matter. As a teacher, an instructor, a coach, a facilitator, a mentor, any kind of thing that has to do with learning. Okay. What you're trying to get across. Okay. You're not transferring what's in your brain to somebody else's brain. Okay. It don't work like that. All right. What you are attempting to do is to help this person see better. Either see like they're already seeing something, but just see it more clearly, or to see more than what they're seeing right now, or to see differently. I'm either seeing what I'm looking at more clearly, I'm seeing a bigger picture of it, or I'm seeing something completely different. Okay. You're doing one, both, or all of those things when you, as an instructor, as a teacher. Okay. Is that happening? If that is happening, you will be able to see the effects, and you don't have to wait 3, 6, 9, 12, 36, 60 months after. Okay. You don't. You absolutely do not. And again, like I said, You can't go back to somebody 2 years from now and be like, okay, remember that training you were in? 2 years from now, how is that? They're going to make some stuff up, but you really can't say that, because too many things have already come in to influence what this person does and says and is. And, you just can't do that. You can't. Okay. So when I do the stuff that I do, and this is the reason why I do things differently than other people do, right? Why I write belief statements, for instance. Okay. I still do objectives because people expect objectives just because they expect them. Okay. But I also write belief statements. Okay. When you hear this, when you practice this, when you, interact with this person and that, okay, this is how it can impact your beliefs. Okay. When you are done with this is what you're going to be able to believe. You may or may not believe it, but I have now given you enough information so that you can see in a way that allows you to be able to see that you're in a room, with all the lights on. You're not rooting around in the dark anymore. And the fascinating thing about us, about human beings, the fascinating thing, the thing that we are the most skilled at. I'm a college guide in AmeriCorps, and this helped me so much today. Oh, thanks, Tammy. I'm so happy. I'm so glad. A college guide. That's amazing. The thing that we're most skilled at is ignoring the obvious. I could turn on the light switch. Pitch black room. You got a flashlight. I can turn on the light switch. Humans are really good at ignoring the fact that the light is on. The light switch is on. Okay. And this goes back to that book, Immunity to Change. Have y'all read Immunity to Change? Okay. By Leahy and somebody, I forget the last name of the other person. Immunity to Change. Okay. And this is what we try to get done in learning development and training and all that. We want people to change their behavior in some kind of way. Okay. Or we want to reinforce something. Okay. The book Immunity to Change and the research that they did, okay, says people don't change because whatever they're doing, they are getting something positive out of that. If I have a flashlight in my hand in a pitch black room, okay, and somebody turns the light switch on so that I no longer need the flashlight, but I'm still using it as if I'm in a dark room, that means I'm not changing what I'm doing because I am getting some kind of benefit from using the flashlight. If I put that flashlight down, because the light switch is on, I don't need it. Okay. But if I put that flashlight down, whatever benefit I got from using it, I'm going to lose. And I don't want to lose that. The thing about change, and change, I'm still talking about learning now, still talking about learning and evaluation. The thing about asking somebody to change what they're doing is that you have to also be able to manage loss. Okay. I don't care how detrimental what you're doing may be. Okay. Think about these people who are in abusive relationships. Okay. Why are you still there? Why are you not leaving? Think about these people who are hooked on some kind of substance. Okay. That's just, wreaking havoc in their lives, but they still do it. They won't change because there is something there, according to this book, Immunity to Change. Okay. And I really believe this. I totally agree with what's in that book, all that research they did. You aren't going to change a thing if you feel like you're going to lose something that you're getting from doing that. Every person that hears me right now, you're human beings. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm talking to you. You have habits. You have things that you do right now that you know how to change. You know, listen, I've been trying to lose 10 pounds and 4 ounces for the last 2 years. Okay? The last 2 years. I know I don't need to go to another nutrition class. I ain't got to watch another nutrition video. I ain't got to do none of that. Okay? None of that. Okay. But I still haven't lost it. What's the problem, Cheryl? What's the problem? Why can't you just, go for a walk and do that? I done bought Fitbits and this bits and that bit and all kind of stuff. Okay. But there is some benefit. There is some benefit that I get from just doing the stuff that I normally do. And until I get to what that is and question whether or not it's worth it, okay? Listen. And Halloween coming up too. I love me some candy now. All right. So what I'm saying is you have to get to that. Okay. If people are really going to change what they're doing, you have to do something so that they care about the change. And this goes back to what I was talking about today on my Cyber Training with Ypifany channel. If you're not on Cyber Training with Ypifany, please go and subscribe there too. Okay. You have to find out what people care about. You do. You got to find out who care. I saw this video yesterday on Facebook. This man, he runs marathons. Okay. He calls himself, what does he call himself? Like the fat marathon runner or something like that. He bays a house, jiggling all over the place when he's running. Okay. But he does it. He does it. And he's like, my goal is not to lose weight. He says, I run because I love it. I run because I love it. And he does it. There's women, there's a whole movement about these larger women who do yoga. I'm telling you, some of the stuff these women do, listen, they like 200, 300, these are some hefty women, and they will shut you down when it comes to yoga. Okay. They do that thing. Right. And because a lot of this goes back to, I told y'all in another video, your actions stem directly from what you believe. It's directly from what you believe. I was told when I was younger that girls are not good at math. I heard that all the time. I heard it at home. I heard it at school. I heard it from other girls. I heard it from boys. My uncle. Girls just aren't good at math. I was a straight A student, except for one subject. Guess which one it was? Math. Why? Why could I never get an A in math? Because girls aren't good at math. I believe that. Now, I know now that I'm 44 years old that ain't true. Okay? That's not true. Girls can be very good at math. Very good. Okay? But that's not what I grew up believing. Okay? So anytime I knew I had to take, I was like, oh, here we go. I was already setting myself up. I do that today. Y'all listen, I understand now what happened, but I still do that today. I still do it today. It's going to take I'm going to have to lay on somebody's couch or something and get therapy through math or whatever. It's so ingrained, But, that's something I can get over because, again, it goes back to, and this is why I write belief statements for my training. Because I know if you believe, okay, that teamwork, for instance, this is one of the belief statements I have in my cyber training. Teamwork, results in greater profits. If you work with a team, you'll make even more money. If you believe that, okay? What are your actions going to be if you believe that? If you really believe that, man, when I work in teams, that really pays off better for me. What are you going to do? Okay? If you believe that working alone is really how I do my best work. Working alone is really, oh, thank you, Tammy. Working alone is really the thing that's going to get me moving forward. That's going to increase my my social mobility. Is if I do this stuff all by myself. What kind of actions am I going to take? I'm going to do a whole bunch of stuff by myself. Okay? That's why it's important to find out when you're creating your training or your learning course, whatever. Find out from people what do you believe about this thing? You know, what do you believe about that? And in your design, okay, in your design, is that belief going to be conducive to what you want the result to be? Okay, because so tomorrow I'm going to observe a workshop for girls in cyber. Okay, I can't have girls in there with the belief that girls aren't good at math. Okay, or that girls aren't good at IT. That's not conducive to results. That means if that is the case, okay, this thing is going to have to be designed such that those beliefs can be changed. That means they're going to have to see women in front of them, you know, who are very good at these things, very good at math, you know, very good at all these other things. That's right. Belief statements, Tammy. Right? They're going to have to see that because that kind of stuff is going to help shift, this is what I believed, but this is what I'm seeing. Something's not adding up here. Okay. Maybe I need to modify, revise, change what I believe about women in math. But you have to design that into your course. You can't have, you know, them only getting instruction from men. If you're trying to change a belief that women are good, you can't have that. Okay. Because that's not going to do, they might get the information, they might do some practice, but as far as what they believe about it, that's not going to shift much. Okay. That's why you have to find out which beliefs are conducive to people actually being able to see more clearly, to entertain different kinds of beliefs. You know, what kind of things are conducive to that? Now, when I finish up Cyber's Future, okay, which is one of the things I'm working on, I'm done with the entrepreneurial course, and it's really good. It's really good. It is. Not to toot my horn, but me and my partner, we did a really good job on that. We really did. We did a lot of research and stuff, and that's one that I'm very proud of. Okay. But I'm also creating some of my own stuff, like the stuff I'm talking about now, because the stuff I'm talking about now, you don't typically hear that when you go to trainings on being an instructional designer or curriculum developer. You don't hear what I'm talking about now. They don't talk about that. Okay. So I'm making my own stuff, right, to be able to, you know, share with people who do have evolving minds, who see that the world is dynamic, and who see that we're going to have to start thinking differently about learning and evaluation if we're going to get anywhere. Okay. We have to. Okay. You have to adapt to the world. Okay. The world ain't going to look at you and be like, okay, let's everybody adapt to what Cheryl's doing. No. Okay. We have to adapt to our environment, and we have to include environment into what we're doing when it comes to developing these learning experiences. Okay. No, I have not. It's powerful. Yeah, Tammy. I mean, these are some things that we really have to talk about because they matter. Okay. I'm not going to be putting stuff in what I'm creating that doesn't matter. Okay. I see that it matters. You know, it's mattered for me in the work that I've done. And again, learning and teaching is about sharing perspective and experience. So I'm going to share that, you know, with you all. And the point of it, what I said earlier, is so you can see more clearly. Who doesn't want to see more clearly? And like I said, you don't have to do anything with it. You don't have to do anything with it. Okay? With what you see. You don't. That's your choice. And it's none of my business. Okay. Again, my business is what I do with what I see. Okay. All right. How long have I been on here? 45 minutes. Okay. Thank you all so much. Thanks, Tammy. Thanks, Muhammad, and whoever else is here. I appreciate y'all being here with me today. Again, this is my Epiphany channel, Learning for Evolving Minds. Okay. You are my evolving minds if you're here. So I'm going to be back. What's today? Friday. Today is Friday, right? Yeah. I'm going to try to get back here with y'all 2 to 3 times a week so that we can chat it up and talk about what's going on. Okay. All right. Thanks again, y'all. And I will see you back here sometime next week. Okay. I'm going to subscribe to the other channel and share you with my peers. Thank you. Thank you, Tammy. I really appreciate that. Okay. The other channel is Cyber Training with Epiphany. Okay. All right. I'll see you over there. Bye, y'all.